the idea of a influencer. Um, Now there's these influencers. I'll tell you what. These influencers have um, a lot to learn, and and have to be very careful on what they say, what they post. I mean, the whole thing, right? The whole thing. Okay. All right. Um, it's these young, young people who they're making good money, but the thing is, they have no work ethic, right? I see a few working at Starbucks, working at burger joints, and bagging groceries and shit. But there's a few out there right now that are getting paid to spew false narratives, right? Now, okay, I would be very careful and don't double down. Because, for example, how many of you remember the tweet that Harry Sisson did last year, right? We all read, we all read it. We all seen it, and it pissed off a lot of people, man. It did. Um, I've said this after I said on TikTok. I said you have to really be careful because what you tweet, what you post, what you say, whatever it is, you could get into some serious legal action. Serious legal action. Now, Dean Withers, right? This guy, he's 20 years old. 20 years old. Do not know how the world really works. He only knows from his influencing, which technically he's not really influencing anybody but himself. Now, you think that if these influencers know better, they're so caught up, they're so caught up in this web. They're so caught up. They're so caught up in this web that this web of bullshit that they're willing to be paid to bullshit to really push a false narrative that could really put them in a legal binding and also legal issues. So these influencers, they're not real. Look, I'll be honest here. I don't see these young people as influencers. I see them as lazy motherfuckers that have no work ethic, but willing to sit in front of the camera, talk stupid, and get paid for it. Okay? Simple as that. Now, I mean, it's like, dude, these influencers are not really helping themselves, you know. And so I'm sitting here, I'm listening to Harry Sisson, and he has no idea. He has no clue. He talks stupid. He has nothing but just bullshit, you know. I mean, if you really want to go out there but look, you have to know what the fuck you're talking about, man. Okay? You have to know what the fuck you're talking about, and don't do it because you're because you vote Democrat or you vote Republican. Back up your shit, okay? Back up your shit. Put aside your party affiliation that you vote for and actually have something to talk about. Have something that you could corroborate. Can have some proof in a way, you know, something, you know, that's not bullshit. That's like me saying, look at me. I'm in a chair on YouTube talking and it's raining outside. Of course, it's not raining. It's just that I'm pulling the same shit that Harry Sisson is. Talking bullshit. But in real reality here, I'm sitting here, nice cool evening in October on a Thursday. All right. On a Wednesday. It's really I was young once. We all were young once. We all thought how the world really worked at that age, and we didn't. I mean, honestly, we didn't. We just go on of what we thought. You know, but I'm 49 years old. I'm 49. I'll be 50 in January. In January, and so much within the last 30 plus years, 30 years. I grew up in the 80s. I was born in the late 70s, grew up in the 80s, and during that time, the music was pretty. The music was good. The movies were pretty good. I grew up. Um, but I grew up at the time where you had the Iran Contra scandal. You had the war in Grenada. You had the Russian-Afghan war. You had Barry Seals get assassinated by Colombian dissidents. Because he talked, and he would have lived if the judge would have didn't fuck up on her end. Because he was a witness. He's a state's witness, and this judge did not give a shit. And this was 1986 when he was assassinated. You had the entire Gary Webb. I wrote his book, The Real Freeway Ricky Ross. He was selling drugs for the CIA, making billions of dollars. They took the money and they spent it on weapons they bought off the Iranians. Took the weapons, took it to the Contras. And it was like Oliver North was involved in it, but yet he got immunity for his shit, man. He was protected, and you had the what was it, the Lockerbie bombing in '86. You had the space shuttle tragedy. You had a lot of things that happened in the '80s, man, like shit. But you look at today's time. You have the internet. The internet, what really look. Everybody is so on the internet, on social media, right? which is a distraction. But it's a good thing, but it's also a curse. And the reason I'm saying this is that you have ordinary people so stuck on saying how many followers, how many subscribers, how many whatever they get, likes, followers, subscribers, all that shit. How many views on their videos, how many, whatever, And now I could say the internet's pretty good because it's a free flow of information. Now, we didn't have that 40 years ago. Only information you got was TV and the newspapers and shit, and radio and TV. Yeah. I mean, if you really stop and think about it for a moment here, the curse part is you have ordinary people so stuck on how many views they might try to get, how many likes, how many subs, how many followers, whatever it is in the numbers here. And Dr. Phil had this young guy, and he's constantly on social media, constantly. And he says he doesn't talk to his family. And he asks why. He says, well, the reason I don't talk to them is because they don't have the numbers I have. They don't have enough followers like I do. They don't have enough subscribers as I do. That's why I don't talk to them. Now I'm sitting here going, you'd be nothing. I'm like, dude, you're better off being nothing than you on the internet, or social media, because now you got these social media and internet influencers wanting to be famous on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. They want to be famous. And there is a price of fame. There's a huge price of fame. Yeah. Huge price. Because you look at these YouTube influencers, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. I'm on Instagram and Snapchat, but I don't really go on my Instagram account or my Snapchat account because it's like nothing's there. Like it's all nothing. It's just that. I mean, it's good they're making money, You know, they're making what, millions of dollars. You know, you got that crazy bastard Del Mulvaney. He's making millions of dollars. You know, he uh, Bud Light made like 6 cans with his ugly mug on it and shit. And because Bud Light got into some Budweiser got into some deep shit because of this crap, you know, Nike and you know, they got into some serious shit, you know, real serious shit. Um, you got Dylan Mulvaney who's sporting up women's clothes and shit. Like, like really, dude? Really? You, you're Nike. You're selling your soul to stupidity, man. You know, and it's the fame. It's a price of fame that's really destroying society, man. The price of fame is what's destroying society and pop culture, you know. And I mean, you would think about so. I mean, so many smart people out there have lost brain cells for stupidity, you know. And you have influencers that are the total opposite. That they don't care about fame. They care about exposing the darker side of influencing, you know. The darker side of being a internet and social media influencer, you know. It's like there's a lighter and darker side of trolling, you know. One side, it's jokes, you know, just doing some crazy shit out of fun and laughter. Then the darker side is the darker side of trolling is that it's really getting out of hand, where people are getting hurt. People are just really have no clue that what they're doing can seriously get themselves hurt or killed, you know. And you have some people, whether you're an influencer or yeah, in an area, or troll or you know, and they just want to. I mean, just honestly here, you know, these influencers need to seriously have a lot to learn and understand that, because when you reach that level, like Harry Sisson and Dean Withers or Tom Mulvaney and these other dumb fucks and shit, that you're not really helping yourself, man. You know, you're not really helping yourself, because the thing is, you're trying to become more stupider than you look. You know, because the thing is, in truth and reality here, you know, you got to ask yourself the question: why is it that they're willing to risk everything? Like, for example, last year, Harry Simpson said, since Joe Biden has immunity, maybe he could send the Marines to go kill Donald Trump and send the military to take out the Supreme Court justices and shit. It's like, what the fuck? Really, dude? Hey, Bootsy. Oh, I hear you. And it's like, okay, we hear you. It's like, why would you say that? I'm telling them, why would you tweak that? Why would you tweak that, And, it's like, why are you tweeting shit like that, Then he doubles down and says, well, I didn't say that. I'm like, dude, people have took, was it a photo, they have screenshots of the tweet. Oh, that wasn't me. Oh, I didn't know that. No. Dude, you tweeted that shit last year. And then you have Dean Withers tell that guy saying, because first he was asked, do you think that you'll let your children change their gender? And I knew that would be they call it the gotcha question, okay? But the guy says no, no. As a father, I wouldn't let it happen because my kids they can't consent. They're not at legal age to consent to do this, Then the look on Dean's face was, he says, you don't deserve to have custody of your kids. You should have CPS called out on you, all that bullshit. Then he says, well, I'm going to have my followers contact CPS to have your kids taken away. Then when they got called out, he says, I never said that. Dude, you said it. You said it, man. Look, it's nothing more than a fucking distraction. This whole transgender bullshit is a heavy distraction. And it is. I'm sitting there like, man, dude needs to really seriously open his eyes and ears and open his mind to think, open his eyes and ears to hear and listen, to see and listen, pay attention and listen, because the more he talks, the further he talks, he's putting himself in a deeper hole. Because if anybody says some dumb shit, like, for example, Destiny for one, that dude is in some deep shit right now. He said Charlie Kirk wouldn't have gotten shot if Donald Trump would have won. Now, I'm sitting here listening to this shit. I'm going, just like thinking, dude, you have picked the wrong time to say that shit. It would not matter if Trump won the election or lost the election. It would not fucking matter. Okay? There's going to be somebody out there that has a wild hair up their ass and been indoctrinated or radicalized, and all of a sudden has a wild hair up their ass, so they poured a German Mauser bolt action with a 30-06 round and assassinated Charlie Kirk. It will not matter if Donald Trump won the election or not, because shit, But Destiny, this son of a bitch, he fucking doubles down. He fucking doubles down on this shit. YouTube demonetizes his ass, and then completely removes him and shit, Look, and then you have compilations of people just celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Like, really, dude? Really, man? That compilation shows that these people, they have no common sense. They have no heart. They have no compassion. They have no anything. They're blind. They're deaf. They're brain fogged to realize, man. You may not agree with Charlie Kirk, right? But the thing is, you shouldn't celebrate someone's death because you think that he spewed hate, racism, and all that other bullshit. Look, it shouldn't matter if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Arabic, whatever. He's willing to sit down with you and have a conversation. Okay? And there's nothing wrong having a conversation. I mean, look, it's okay to agree to disagree. Okay? Simple as that. No. I'm willing to go that route. I'm willing to see that, But the issue we have here is social media is also part of the problem. Because people are willing to do and say stupid shit, okay? And without even thinking. Without even thinking. They do it for clout, for views and clicks and likes and subs and followers and shit. Like, dude, what the fuck, man, But the thing is, we get on the internet. We read the news. We watch sports. We watch TV because the days of the drive-in, the theaters and shit, Betamax, VCR, VHS, uh, all changed. You could watch it on a website and shit. Um, you know, there's ways now where you can watch a movie and shit because we all know, okay, we all know the movie theaters are dying out, man. They are completely dying out. Okay, the drive-ins at the time were pretty good. You know, you go out there, just sit in your car, watch a good movie, all that shit. Pay a few bucks. You go to drive in. You get a bucket of popcorn, a soda, licorice, you name it, the whole thing. Drive theaters. You go see a good flick. Before you go, you buy a bucket of popcorn, a soft drink, all that shit. Candy. But here's the thing. Your popcorn is not really buttered. Okay, it's not really buttered. Never it is buttered. Drive-in popcorn uses real butter. Not that theater shit. They use real butter. Shit, man, I mean, the thing is, you gotta actually wonder yourself, like, how bad is internet getting? How bad is the internet getting? It's getting bad. It's getting bad. And because I like the internet because I can hook up my Xbox and I can watch YouTube and shit. And I can sit here, play a game, or watch YouTube. But even though you still see and hear people say and do stupid shit. I often ask the question, does anybody ever think anymore before they post or share or say anything or do anything stupid? Does anybody think anymore? When was the last time an influencer used some common sense? Right? When was the last time that a internet or a social media influencer used common sense? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to fucking know. Fuck. Because when you look at Dean Withers and Harry Sisson, right? They love being on TV. They love being in front of the camera, all that shit. They do it because they do it because they're getting paid to do it. $250,000, man. Shit. Hey. Fuck. Shit, pay me $250,000, but I won't talk stupid. I'll just remove the filters and talk some shit, man. From the heart. Common sense, man. These influencers, they hate it when somebody calls them out and tell it to their face that, hey, dude, you're a shill who bent over for the Democratic Party. You're a paid shill who's getting paid $250,000 to bend over and take up the ass pipe by the DNC for the DNC. That bullshit. Because all the money is good. Certainly it's good. I mean, it's good enough for you to get paid to take up the ass pipe for the Democratic Party and shit. That kind of crap. But the thing is, they because greed will make you stupid. Greed will make you say and do some stupid fucking shit, Look, you have to really understand, that we all have to really, we all got to think, okay, and wonder about the legal consequences, because they could be hit with a slander, defamation suit, slander suit, all that shit. And you can get sued for defamation and slander. That bullshit, I'm wondering if anybody sued one of these internet and social media influencers. Let me rephrase here. We all know that these influencers do defame and slander people, and without giving a shit, And I'm wondering if anybody has even sued one of these influencers and shit for defamation and slander and other bullshit, Because there was a one case where Harry Gusson allegedly did something to a chick, and I don't know if he got sued for whatever he was accused of. But he sure loves that $200,000 though. Um, I think Dean Withers, little punk, you know. I often wonder, and I really do. I often wonder that if these influencers ever been held accountable. I'll say it again. I'm wondering if any of these influencers ever been held accountable for their actions, for what they said, what they posted, whatever they did, man. Oh, this is my Skynet shirt. Skynet, the neural net-based artificial intelligence, Cyberdyne Systems Corporation. Now, I mean, if I was one of these little bastards, and I posted or tweeted some dumb shit that I said, I know for a fact I would get a visit from the Secret Service and the FBI, the U.S. Marshal Service, because you're not. Look, there are things that you say can land you in some serious shit where you'll be getting a visit from the Secret Service or the FBI, or lawyers, because you got these dumbass influencers slandering somebody, defending somebody, and turn around, they get sued and shit. They get sued. Now these days, people are fucking sue happy, man. It's like they love getting a hit of lawsuits. They masturbate to litigation, right? They masturbate to litigation. What the fuck, dude? I often ask and wonder, how can they sit there, whether they're on the internet or on national TV, and anything they say, I mean, dude, Harry Sisson was on Piers Morgan Uncensored a couple times, and that little bastard got scorched earth on. And kid's 21 years old, has no kids, and doesn't know how the world really is. And what's funny is that he says, "Oh yeah, Joe Biden is sharp-minded. He's answering most of my questions." Dude, he got laughed at he got laughed off the set because Joe Biden, his mind is like moldy Swiss cheese. Moldy Swiss, no, more like molded cottage cheese. This dude needs to seriously, man, hit the gym, get a clue. Hit the gym, get a clue, okay? I think the time of the internet and social media influencers is dead. The time is done. It's dead because the job of influencer is not a good one. Because some of these little bastards, they're making millions of dollars on the internet, just being an influencer and shit, But they have no work ethic. No work ethic, I used to mow lawns and wash cars and rake leaves. As a side job, man. Mow lawns, wash cars, rake leaves, pull weeds, to earn a few bucks, To earn a few bucks, I even worked at Toys R Us, a seasonal job. Loved it, man. It was awesome. – 21 years old. I was 21 years old. And for 2 weeks straight, I worked from 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. for 2 straight weeks. He had this little bastard crying and whining that he has to work an 8-hour shift at Starbucks. Look, honestly, Starbucks is easy peasy job, man. Pretty easy job. Easy job. Easy job. But I never cried working 8 hours at Toys R Us. 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. That's more than 8 hours. One of the jobs I've always wanted to work was the railroad. Trains, go to school, get a degree, and locomotive and shit. Make some, that right there is some good money. Damn good money. Retirement, oh dude, man. Benefits, fuck yeah, dude. Truck driving, you're making about yearly, you're making about 66 to 70 something thousand a year. And like, dude, man, working local, state, or nationwide, man. One of my favorite YouTubers is Paul Barger, the bread truck guy. He's driving around in this modified bread truck that he turned into a camper, into a motorhome. And he got stopped a couple times, and this one time, he got pulled over by the state police, who had nothing better else to do, and the bread truck is pretty badass, man. I want one. If I can work part-time doing YouTube, I can make some pretty good part-time money. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Reverend Ordo, and this has been the Anonymous Mando'Ade Network. If you're new to this channel, like, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell for notification, and always live healthy, happy, and wise. Love you guys. Peace out. Godspeed. Buddha bless.